Hi there. Well, today I'm going to talk about the Gyaru culture. In my former videos, I was talking about the Gyaru culture, so only the culture of the girls. But like I said, you also have a boy equivalent of that culture. And I told you before that I bought the magazine Egg, which is one of the most popular Gyaru magazines out there. And they mentioned the word gyaru, and I saw all these pictures of boys with like the cool, looking hair, real spiky, a little bit anime-ish. That's always the word I use to describe it. You can also, say that it has a lot of volume. I even heard an American girl call it the blow dryer look. And I was very intrigued by these figures, not necessarily because they were, of the culture where I like the girls, because I can understand that you also have, guys that adapt to a certain culture because they only like the girls, people who become gothic because they like gothic girls, but for the rest they don't like anything about it. And luckily that was not the case for me, because as I told you before, when I went to Singapore when I was 12 years old, I already liked the guys because of their hair. And that's probably the main thing I like about Gyaru. I like a lot of stuff, I like the clothes, I like the style, I like the music. But if you had to pick one thing that's most important, it will be the hair. One of the number one thing I like about girls is also their hair. Many people have a weakness for pretty eyes, or I don't know, some probably for big breasts or something. But with me, it's hair, so that's actually pretty rare. But to come back to the point of gyaru, like I said, gyaru means bad girl, and the only thing that gets attached to the word gyaru is the o. And in Japanese, the O is written as a kanji for the word boy. So it's actually, if you literally would translate it, it would be like bad girl, boy. The boy version of the bad girl. I don't know exactly why. I read somewhere that suddenly, when the Gyaru showed up, many boys, liked them and started to like I said, many of the Gyaru, their inspiration were Baywatch girls, so the boys would, do a little bit like the surfer guy thing, that look, and they didn't really have a name for it because, it came so sudden that the others didn't expect a boy version of the Gyaru to come up, so to quickly give it a name, they just called it Gyaru0 with the kanji for boy attached to it. And there are many styles of gyaru, not particularly with a name, but when you look at my hair is like real spiky, real big, and you see that style in some magazines like Men's Knuckle, Men's Spider. Not so much in Men's Egg, because you also have a lot of gyaru with like longer hair than I have and a bit poofy, not that spiky. You see that a lot. I actually think that is becoming more popular now, but I'm gonna do a specific video about gyaru hair in the future. So I will let you know my opinion on that later on. And yeah, actually there isn't so much to tell about gyaru in specific, because the thing is that many people actually consider it the David Bowie look. Now, this is definitely the case with many of the host gyaru, but the thing is that about gyaru is that they look quite feminine, and probably like a lot of fangirls would maybe argue or something that nah, they don't look feminine at all, they look very cool and stuff like that. And they look very cool, but they also do really look feminine. You know, you can't get around that. Like if I walk in these clothes here in Holland, many people think I'm gay. And I was talking about this subject with a Japanese gyaru, and she said that also for Japanese themselves, it looks kind of feminine, but they think it's very cool there. They didn't really think it looked gay, because if you see like in the magazines for gyaru, in the advertisements, they have stuff for like handbags or even nail art for guys, and I saw that extensions for guys were becoming popular also. It's kind of interesting actually to see that when, you know, people don't have new stuff to, you know, to advertise, they come up with new things to advertise, and then, you know, when they had like all the nail art for all the girls, you know, they would move on to the boys to, you know, get a larger market. It's actually an interesting discussion point that maybe I will discuss deeper into a future video. But no, you know, if you would say like what are the characteristics of gyaru, is one, the you know, very poofy big hair. That's one thing. But that isn't necessarily a rule, because if you look at some of the models in men's knuckles, some of them have very short hair. So you know that's the whole thing. I don't know if it's like a boy thing or a girl thing, but I realized that the gyaru itself, like the girl version, have a lot of rules, a lot of things you need to attend to, and if you don't do that, you're not gyaru. But the boys seem to have it far less. Like for instance, my favorite model, gyaru model, is called Ryoma. He is from the magazine Men's Knuckle. He's pretty famous in Japan, so you actually might know him. And I saw a video on YouTube where they would, like, you know, like MTV Cribs, they would visit his house. And I noticed that he didn't do his hair. His hair is really light. It reminds me of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. And he didn't do his hair that day, so it was like you know, flat, straightened down. And I wondered, like, you know, now that he didn't do his hair, is he suddenly not a gyaru anymore? Like, when he would do his hair, when he would wear the proper clothes, is he then a gyaru, or is he also a gyaru when you know, he doesn't have his hair and the right clothes on? And because of that, I think that the characteristics for proper gyaru are pretty complicated to express. In my next video, I will show you a part, part of my collection of gyaru clothes that I have. And like I said, there are many different styles. Like, my style is really like shiny and more of like the bad boyish, like the rock star type of gyaru. But you also have like the real American like gyaru. You have the brand called Kokolulu Men's, which is inspired on like American surfer fashion, and it's very colorful, very bright. I don't like it that much. I wear, you know, pretty much like you know, dark clothing. I don't know why. It's recently I tried to buy a little bit, you know, brighter clothing, but I'm still getting there. And it's actually weird, because I thought that gyaru would be so much harder to explain than gyaru, because gyaru has so many different styles. But there are, because of like the strict rules and stuff like that on gyaru and not on gyaru, it's actually, I noticed that it's actually much easier to explain the gyaru culture. But with my upcoming videos on showing my clothing and some different hairstyles on gyaru, I hope you get a better idea of what gyaru are and how their world, you know, how their world looks like. So in my next video, like I said, I will show you my Gyaru clothing. So see you next time.